commit monies we don't have. And that's where we need to find out what that is so that we can find out where that money is that we can utilize it.
Well, what's befuddling and intellectually inconsistent to me is I got a call about 2 weeks ago from Mike. I was driving down the road, and Mike goes, "I've been tasked." His word, "I have been tasked," quote unquote, by the Selectmen to rectify the situation.
Yep.
But there's not been one human being out there physically doing anything.
Well, that's not right.
Mike, no, I don't mean.
And you were out there.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I started the process.
Mike was out there, and
Yeah.
you had your contractor out there?
I started the process.
I said physically, sir. I'm not talking about looking at it. I'm talking about working
You
on
mean
it.
construction-wise?
You just can't do that.
We just don't know what it is yet.
And you can't do it with water. You can't move water anywhere you want. It's against the law.
That's not really true.
It is true. The
No,
BES would fine the town of Chester if we didn't get permits and permission to do it. We would be fined,
Not
and
when,
then I would be blamed.
not
So
when there's a health and safety issue.
I'm getting annoyed now with this. I'm
Well,
going to go
that's-
sit back in the corner. I'll
Thank
do
you,
the
Mike.
best I can for those of you who know me.
Well, the concern is, though, if you'll think about it in a dispassionate way, is this. You've got a terrible road there. Not one word he has said prevents you from having people fix the road, at least. There's nothing to stop that. I mean, this road is terrible.
Fixing the road, how does that
It's
help
got-
the drainage?
Well, we don't know that.
We'll have to
The
dig it
road
up
needs to
again.
be fixed.
We have to dig it up again to put the proper drainage in.
Well, that's speculation, but the point...
Yours is speculation.
No, mine, sir, the
No,
road...
sir. No, sir.
I hadn't finished what I was going to say. The point, yes, sir, is that the road has got holes and divots and ruts all in the road, irrespective of the flooding issue.
Mr.
And none of
Chase.
that's been done.
First of all, I apologize, but I've taken exception to what you said because basically you called me a liar, and I don't like that. Okay? The first
How did
I
I
ever
call you a
heard,
liar?
yes, you did.
I said, how did I call you a liar?
When you said that there were records galore, and I told you I was one of those that was sitting here, and I told you in all of the years that I've been sitting on this board, I do not have any notes at all about Carkin or Donna Street. And the interesting part is I have friends that live there on Donna Street. Now, wait a minute.
All right.
You want to talk? I'd like to finish now.
Sure.
Okay. The day after you came in, I drove down that road in my Ford Expedition. And I agree with you. The road needs a new paving.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But it doesn't have divots and trenches like you're describing any more so than Candia Road, than Lane Road, or any of the other roads that we have. And the problem is that, as Mike has said several times, okay, and Chuck has said, and he's a geologist and an engineer, okay, as he said...
Who are you pointing to?
I'm a hydrogeologist,
Okay.
drainage.
And the point being is we do have a concern for it now. Now that it came up,
Right.
I went down there. I've been down that road beforehand. I didn't think it was a major issue. But there are major issues all over. And as Mike has said, for 10 years, we couldn't do anything. For you to go ahead and say, oh, I'm coming in here as a country boy. Well, I came in as a city boy.
Right.
Okay, and I looked at the roads and I understand the same thing that you do. There is a need. But when there's a need, you have to come up with the cash.
Right.
Okay? People are yelling at us about taxes, etc. I went to the transfer station last night and I was told, oh, there's so many houses up for sale. There's 12 or 15 in town because the taxes went up. Okay? Yeah, but I asked the gentleman, did you come to town meeting so that you could vote, so that we could go ahead and have more funds for the roads? You don't have to sit there and argue with me about the law, okay, because I believe I do understand it, having worked here and on the planning board. Argue with me or come up with some way to show us how we can get funds to do this without taxing people out of the town, because that's exactly what's happening. And I'm sorry that you just moved in there, But I've lived here for 40 some odd years, and I've seen what needs to be done. And the one thing that I can tell you is, and I don't always agree with Mike Olson, okay, but I can tell you that he has, for 10-year time, he didn't get any money, and we couldn't do any major road work. And now that it's on the CIP, we intend to do something with it. And we have driven over it. I know I've driven over it, and I believe there are others. Your turn.
I'm talking about physically, sir. I'm talking about actually.
What was, in other words, my wheels on that road weren't physical?
No, well, obviously, sir.
We agree that nothing physical has been done in your terminology.
I'm not picking
physical
up a shovel
people
out.
have gone there, but no, we have not put a shovel on the ground down there. We have not put new pavement, anything of that nature. So I think that we're going down a rabbit hole here.
May I say something?
Please.
I'm Deborah.
Yes.
I'm Kim's wife.
Please.
Yes, I think now we're reaching a point where we're getting argumentative and contentious with one another, and that's not where we need to go.
Exactly.
From my point of view and from my neighbor's point of view, which we've talked to them throughout, and we've been in New Hampshire for 17 years, so we didn't just pop up here and say, oh, we're going to, jump in there and do this, that, and the other. That needs to be understood for me, if you will. 17 years we've been in New Hampshire. We're not just coming in from Boston or somewhere. I think the frustration is, from my point of view and the neighbor's point of view, that this has been on the table for it has been on the table for about 16 years, and people have brought photos in, they have brought it to the attention, they have flooding in their basement. And I understand what you're saying about money and budgets. We all understand that. It just doesn't come out of a rabbit hat. But I think the frustration is that year after year, when these people have come to you, you have said, we have budget issues, we have priority issues. There's something else.
Let me
to
stop you right
address.
there. We don't have any photographs. Nobody's come in here and asked us, have you have any photographs that you've provided us
No,
with?
but I'm saying, sir, if
I haven't ever seen any photographs of the flood.
From my understanding.
Your understanding is incorrect.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, we do now, because I haven't seen any photographs. We did some research, and there's nobody in here that can come and say they've been into before this board of selectmen the last 6 years that I've been here asking us to do anything on that road,
Okay.
except for the fellow down the end of the street that wanted us to discontinue the road so he could make a...
But, sir, can I say this? You're reaching a point of being rude to me, and I don't appreciate that. We can talk to each other in an intelligent fashion and go like this, and then we can come to an end. But to talk to me in that tone, it's not appropriate for me to speak to you in that tone, or you to speak to me in that tone.
Well, that's my tone. I'm sorry if you don't like it.
But you can't say
I
it's
talk to
my-
everybody like that.
Well, it's not good.
Well, that's what I've been told. That's just who I am.
Well-
Again, we're getting argumentative
We
here.
are, and we don't need to do that.
I think we definitely hear your point. We know what the issues are coming, and
I got one more thing to say.
we are.
I want one more comment to make. And some of you folks know, the people who live down the very end, we had trouble with water. You remember I put a culvert in, and I patched a big section in front of your house when I had a little extra money. So it's not like I've done nothing. I've done the best I can, and you folks know I've done it. I mean, when I have extra money, I go down and I do what I can do. But to fix that neighborhood is a major project. So, but it's not like we've ignored the neighborhood. We haven't. We've done the best we can.
And we can't fix the past at this point. We can only take it from the future. And that's where our point is. At this point, we are taking it to the future. And we've got people down there looking at it. They're not tearing up the road yet. And unless there's a reason to tear up the road for the drainage, I think that it all is one part of the package here. And we don't want to put new pavement down only to tear it up and lose money when we're putting a pipeline in there for drainage. So as soon as we can get the engineering and understand it and associated costs with that, we're going to be working on that to try to come up with the solution as fast as we can.
Well, I'll say two things as calmly as I can. And Mike, you can correct me if I'm mistaken, but Mike has told me that he has frequently informed the planning board and selection committee in one form or another about the problem. So I did not call you a liar, sir. That was what I was talking about, was that there is a...
You did in the fact that you said that we had this for 16 years. And as Mr. D'Angelo just said, okay, I have not heard about it. This is the second time I've heard about it. And the first time that I heard about it, I drove down there once more to see it. I have driven down that road.
Yes, sir. I never...
You didn't specifically call...
The board, no, I think that's just going down another
Right.
rabbit hole here.
And I
think
apologize.
The board itself that you have here today, and the boards in the past, we're not aware of anybody saying, no, that project doesn't get done.
Right.
It gets done as part of the highway program. They get a dollar amount at the end of the year, and they put the prioritization on that. So the town votes for the money, the total dollar amount, and that's really what it is. So again, you go into history aspect of it. We need to stay focused on the issues that we have now and try to take care of them as fast as we can.
Just give me 1 minute and I'll be quiet. History is prologue, though, and the 16-year number emanated from Mike to me, right on the middle of the road when he was there. I don't dispute the fact that, in fact, I'm accentuating the fact that you're cognizant of the issue. The concern is, and looking futuristically ahead, is how fast this is going to occur. I mean, we all have seen
How
movies.
fast do you think it can occur?
Well, faster than it has been, is what I would answer.
From today's date and whatnot, as Mike said, if we start tearing that up and getting into the wetlands, we got to get the permits for that. And until we have that design for it, time-wise, we can't tell you how long yet. We'll have a better idea as soon as the engineering aspect of it comes through.
Just for the record, we just found out about this a month ago.
Well, Mike says differently. I don't know.
Well, Mike has never said to us anything before that date that I know of, except for the end of that street where we had the discontinuation of that road.
We can quit that.
So,
No, all I know is what I've told them. I do know the neighbors have told me, many of them have, that they have expressed in one form or another their dissatisfaction and displeasure with the situation over a long period of time. And all I'm asking you as respectfully and courteously as I know how, you are keenly aware of the issue now. It is a significant health and safety issue, and I'm asking it be rectified. Thank you.
you have the floor. Just introduce yourself for the record.
Bob Latham, Donna Street. I've lived on Donna Street for 46 years, longer than you have been in town there, Junior.
Mr. Latham, you and I have spoken many, many times, and we occasionally agree to disagree.
That's right. On January 25th, 1976, I moved into this town, and Carkin's was a problem then.
Right.
I've gone to the Selectmen's meeting. Oh, it's on the list. It goes from number 2 to number 29. Everything gets shipped. I'm surprised that Andrew is not drinking salt water. He said in the wintertime we put 400 to 500 tons of salt on there to melt the lake. Then we put a dry well in. A dry well going into a lake, the lake fills the dry well faster than it can drain. So we spent, I think it was $7,500 to put a dry well in that doesn't work. I think over the years, I've been up here a few times complaining about caucus. Nothing has been done. And there needs a new culvert because when it rains heavy, going on to Edwards Mill Road, it's going over like Old Faithful in Yellowstone. Comes up through the road. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Okay, does anyone else have a comment on this issue? If not, we'll move off, and we'll be working on trying to get the engineering associated with it. All right. Thank you.